For those of you who were live with me when I first started this video that I just deleted, and I had to run away, a candle fell over, and I had to go make sure that it was okay. So, my apologies. But this video, we are talking about a note on animism. And we're talking about animism in particular out of, it's okay. Everything was fine. Nothing bad happened. And the candle stayed lit in one of those, it's not this one, it was one out in the living space where I'm doing my artwork right now. It accidentally got tipped over, but it stayed lit, one of these, vigil type of candles, so that's good. And it was burned 3/4 of the way down with a very important intent on it, and I was, once Alex said, "Oh no, it accidentally fell over," I just had to stop the live stream and run away. So that's what happened there. But we're going to talk about some notes on animism. And do you guys know what animism is? I really want to talk more interactively with you guys. What are your feelings before I read about it? Because there's not a ton to read about. I have a lot of work to do tonight because we went out to downtown Seattle today and we spent most of the day out there, and I didn't have time to work on my cards, and y'all know I have to do 6 cards a day to keep up. So I'm feeling quite like, oh no, am I going to get this all done? If I don't, it's not the end of the world. I will get it done at some point, but I'm really trying to get all 78 cards done. So, hey Iridescency, Witchy Woman, Witchy Woman, and Witchy Lady Rena. Who else is here? Magical Mandy was just here, but she's not anymore. What are your guys' opinions? Do you know what the word animism means? I want to hear from somebody what that means to them. And Witchy Woman says, I do not. Hey, Wild Shadowmancer, how are you? Hey! So, do you guys know what the word animism means? It's a big part of my witchcraft, and it's a big essential in hoodoo, which I'm learning as I'm reading through Stick, Stones, Roots, and Bones. Do you guys know what animism is? I suppose you could look it up, but I think, so a Wild Shadowmancer says, I think it means belief that literally means everything has a spirit. Right. So we might call this water bottle an inanimate object. But to me, as a whole, it does a job for me. And, you know, in that sense, stones themselves, the water itself, has a spirit. Let's talk about another inanimate object that a lot of people would think was inanimate, even as something as small as a piece of taxidermy, like a chicken's foot. You would say the soul has left the body, it's inanimate. I disagree. I feel like this still, you can channel spirit through even just a chicken's foot that's been preserved. I feel like stones have spirits. Hi Joyce, hi Michelle, how are you guys? We're talking about animism and what that means to you, and how you feel about inanimate objects, and if they actually have a spirit, contain a soul. To what level do we believe this? I think most of us believe that pets contain a soul, and we ourselves contain a soul. Most of us would agree with that. It depends on your religious thoughts, I suppose. And in the same essence, when we talk about our herbs, especially roots, when we talk about conjure, especially roots, have souls attached to them. And if we talk to them and speak to them and love them like they are animate objects, then we can get much more from the working. And I think it's really funny because one of the biggest under the bridge lurkers I've had thus far, and really cruel comments I delete off of my videos. I don't need to see them over and over. But one of the cruelest comments which hurts my soul the most was when I was talking about cinnamon. And I said cinnamon can do so many things for us. So we have to say, cinnamon, I need you to be working protection, or I need you to be working this or working that. And one of the comments that hurt my heart the most was when they said, cinnamon, you're talking to herbs? How ridiculous is this? And I just knew in that moment that this person had no idea what the kind of craft I was doing was. So, alright, so let's talk about it and do the reading out of Sticks, Stones, Roots, and Bones. A note about animism. Are you guys excited? Joyce Jordan says, hi all, hugs Jen, and then she says, animals contain a soul, plants and stones have spirits. I believe trees have big spirits. And she says, but I'm not sure about souls. Spirits is more what I meant to say, rather than souls. Spirits. To me, it's one and the same, but maybe not to everybody. Michelle says, my husband just gave me some new plants for your birthday. That's excellent. Happy birthday. You love talking with your plants, and you should. And you should talk to them like they're people or spirits. Hi, Jackie. How are you? So nice to see you. Yes, this is my coyote rib and moonstone necklace. Hi, Ricky. Hello, everybody. Alice down the rabbit hole, welcome to you, as always. People always... She says that people always like I'm weird when I say trees are alive. If anybody disagrees that a tree is alive, I think that they're nuts. But maybe that a tree has a spirit. Yes, maybe not everybody believes that. In this book, I was doing some deep reading on tree spirits, and I think that might be the first thing I wake up and talk about tomorrow morning is tree spirits, because this reading is great. But this topic we're talking about in this video is a note about animism, so let's get to the reading. Knowing the proper harvesting, drying, handling, and extracting techniques is essential in hoodoo. But there is more to conjure craft than the merely technical. Throughout this book you will find invocations that call upon ancestral or spiritual helpers, including a multicultural selection of goddess and gods. Moreover, often with a trick or a job, and these are workings, other words for workings in hoodoo, you are given a chant or asked to recite a magical poem as you work your roots. Why? Speaking directly to the pot, fire, candle, and herb is essential. Remember, hoodoo has strong roots in African animism philosophy. I'm a huge advocate of the animism philosophy. It's what I do. I talk to everything like it has a spirit, you know. Animistic philosophy considers each element or aspect of nature as being alive. Natural objects, whether they be stick, stone, root, or bone, have a universal energy force within them to which we are all connected. To simply use herbs, flowers, stones, bones, fire, or water without paying homage to its life force insults the spirits. I have included incantations and tricks to help you get jobs done right, and you should also feel free to make up your own. And then it goes on to talk about other topics. But I just wanted to talk about that note on animism because it was such a big part of the reading I did today when I was out and about in the car. We have to take a ferry to go to downtown Seattle. It's right across the water from where we are. We're 5 minutes from the ferry, and then downtown Seattle is right there. Great trip we had today, but I was doing loads of reading when I was in the car. And another thing that I wanted to point out today in this book when I was doing the reading, I read through 3 or 4 chapters. I do most of my reading with you guys, you know. That's when I sit down and do my reading. But I went through the broom, cleaning rituals. Yeah, lots to say. We'll read some more tomorrow morning. Really blessed to have you guys here. I promised I would come on once a day for all of time. So I'm really hoping to fulfill that dream and wish once a day for all of time. Let's get to comments super quick. Of course, trees are alive. Yes. And gosh, there's so much good talk in this about trees that I read today. So I'm looking forward to talking about it tomorrow morning. I just have so much to do this evening. Asking because your roses are going nuts right now. That's funny, Joyce. She says, I do have a question. Are roses better to let mature and dry the individual petals, or dry as whole roses? I usually always dry them as whole roses, upside down. And I don't know why I do that. I think it's just intuitive. It's something that Peggy's always done, and she's like worked in a floral shop. She says this is the best way for them to dry so that they don't mold in the middle or create any kind of mold in the middle, Joyce. So drying your flowers upside down does have a purpose to it. With the way the flower is in gravity, if you dry them upwards and then the petals fall this way, you're also going to give a different shape and a different outside and inside leaf. I think that might be something there, Joyce. So I would try doing them just upside down. Wild Shadowmancer says, Jen comments, like the one you got are usually just from people who have no idea what they're talking. Yeah, I mean, it was fine. It was actually, I agree with what you're saying. It's no biggie, but it did make me think of how that would be a good topic to talk about as animism, and especially with taxidermy, right? We talk about spirits and objects even though their life force isn't still there, this Effie isn't still moving, but we talk about animism in witchcraft a lot, especially in my practice, and I'm so happy to have you guys be a part of that. Hi Ricky, how are you? Nice to see you. Iridescent Sea, great question, Joyce. It was a great question, Joyce, and a great comment. Rose petal tea is one of my favorites, and don't worry, the next time we're going to make tea, hopefully we'll do it before, but if not, we'll do it on my birthday party, which is coming up on June 6th, and everybody don't forget about 24-hour Tarot-thon. Also, visit my Patreon if you haven't checked that out yet. That would be very helpful in my life right now, even if you can give $1 or $5 or $10 a month. I appreciate everybody that's here. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning, and we're going to do reading on trees, more on animism, from Sticks, Stones, Roots, and Bones tomorrow.